anxious to explore what it takes for the private sector to lead on economic inclusion in a way that's good for business and good for people and communities. And we're anxious to discuss the role of partnerships, transparency, and data and community engagement in testing, scaling, sustaining economic inclusion.
What's truly transformative in people's lives and what really gives them economic security is wealth. But it's also the indicator by which we're most disparate in America. Not just along class lines, but by race. We know that the typical black household has about 8 cents on the dollar as a typical white household. We know that the absolute racial wealth gap exceeds $100,000. We know that if we look at liquid assets, assets that can be readily converted into cash and used for any number of emergencies, the typical black household has $25 excluding retirement savings. And if I add retirement savings, it goes up to $200. So we're talking about a subsistence population.
But what we have found at BGE is that when we are deliberate and intentional about our efforts, it not only moves the business forward, it moves the community forward, and everyone benefits because everyone is lifted up.
And in Chicago, we really look at the fact that we've gone backwards in the last 35 years. We don't have the strong minority business community that we used to when you had giants like Johnson Products and Johnson Publishing, the largest black banks, Independence Bank and Seaway. You just go down the list, and we've basically lost it all. You know, it's not there. And then when you look at where the wealth is being created in today's society, you know, so much of it now is coming through technology, the sciences, and professional services. And that seems to be the area that we have been most locked out of as African American entrepreneurs.
What I've seen is a movement towards a much more holistic approach towards economic inclusion, where we're measuring dollars, we're measuring MBE, FBE participation, but we're also looking at workforce. We're also looking at mentoring opportunities. We're also looking at joint ventures. And I think that, and I also see it's much more prevalent now.
Nonprofit leaders of color are the closest to the issues on the ground when you talk about racial wealth and equality.
There's a common agenda here. This is not a separate agenda. As we talk about getting people employed for our communities, that's not a social agenda. Let's be real clear, that's not a social agenda. Getting more African American businesses is not a social agenda. It's an economic imperative. If we want to be robust as a city, all that's about an economic imperative.
And we are going to help start businesses in those neighborhoods, because you see, it's not about just how we grow small business and big business, it's how we incubate opportunities for those who have not been given opportunities.